Previously on 42 Days of Wonder, our rigs carried us across some of America's most iconic landscapes. We climbed above the tree line in Rocky Mountain National Park, where thin air and towering peaks made every overlook feel like a reward. Wildlife wandered freely as if welcoming us into their high country home. We drifted through the wide, glacier-carved valleys of Grand Teton National Park, where sunrise painted the jagged skyline in impossible colors. Every mile felt like moving through a masterpiece. We marveled at the otherworldly geology of Yellowstone, steam vents roaring to life, geysers erupting beside bison, and landscapes shaped by fire and time. And then, Glacier National Park. The place that truly stole our breath, Goat Lick Overlook, Going to the Sun Road, Alpine Lakes, framed by 10,000-foot walls of stone. But this stop came with something more. Fred's daughter joined us here, lifting the spirits of a man who had been traveling solo until now. Her presence transformed this stretch of the journey. Shared laughter, shared scenery, shared memories. Sometimes the right company changes everything. Now, with hearts full, tanks topped, and curiosity leading the way, part 2 of our journey continues, northbound. On day 12, we rolled out early, pointing our rigs toward the Canadian border on the east side of Waterton Lakes National Park. We prepared ourselves for the long haul, passports ready, rehearsing our answers, convincing ourselves this would take a while, but to our surprise, it did not. A couple of quick questions, a friendly exchange, and just like that, we were welcomed into Canada. No stress, no wait, a perfect beginning to the next chapter. We were in Canada. Waterton Lakes is more than a stunning landscape. It's part of something remarkable. Together with Glacier National Park, it forms Waterton Glacier International Peace Park, the first of its kind anywhere in the world. A symbol of unity and environmental stewardship. 2 nations, 2 park systems, 1 borderless wilderness. Here, the mountains care nothing for political lines, the wind crosses continents, and you can feel that sense of harmony the moment you arrive. From towering peaks to vibrant red rock formations, Waterton greeted us with beauty at every turn. We wandered the sculpted pathways of Red Rock Canyon, where crimson walls cradle rushing turquoise streams. Smooth rock surfaces reveal thousands of years of natural artistry, and it's impossible not to be captivated. High above Upper Waterton Lake sits the historic Prince of Wales Hotel, built in 1927 by the Great Northern Railway. It's one of the most photographed hotels in the world, and one glance makes it obvious why. Standing on the bluffs feels like being on the edge of time. That evening, we checked into Waterton's townsite campground. Steps away from town, the lake, and Cameron Bay, a quiet, perfect home for the night. We wandered into Zoom's Eatery and Mercantile, a place wrapped in pure rustic charm. The walls told a story. License plates, road signs, memories from travelers all around the world. Why are we mentioning this? Our meal was paid for anonymously by another diner. No name, no explanation, just a quiet act of kindness that left us stunned, but grateful. If you're watching, thank you. It meant more than you know. Back at camp, deer wandered casually between the sites like they owned the place, just doing their thing while we stood there taking pictures like tourists. Apparently, this is a common thing and not something that gets attention from locals. From Waterton, we steered deeper into the Canadian Rockies. Next stop, Banff National Park. We settled into Tunnel Mountain Village 2, a peaceful stretch of mountain forest framed by snow-dusted peaks. The air felt different here, colder, brighter, full of anticipation. And this stop brought another heartfelt shift in the journey. This is where Fred welcomed his next tour guests, his son and grandson. 3 generations together in the wild. For a man who spent the first part of the trip traveling solo, moments like this were everything. One by one, familiar faces kept joining him, lifting his spirits, filling the quiet stretches of the road with conversation, laughter, and the comfort of family. Watching Fred with his grandson on this leg of the journey added a new layer of magic to the miles ahead. Our first hike was a quick walk along the Hoodoo Viewpoint Trail, an easy paved path to stunning overlooks where slender rock spires rise above the Bow River Valley, unique, ancient, almost otherworldly. Then came Johnston Canyon Falls, and our cameras never stopped rolling. Johnston Canyon is one of those rare places where the trail is the adventure. We followed narrow catwalks bolted to canyon walls, suspended above rushing blue-white water surging through tight stone passages. The canyon walls loom high overhead, shaped by thousands of years of erosion. Each step offered a new angle. Many waterfalls, swirling pools, moss-covered rock, and sunlight slicing through the canyon like a spotlight. The hike is listed as easy to moderate, but the climbs will get your heart pumping. Along the way, chipmunks and birds kept us company as if cheering us on to the big reveal. And then, the lower falls blasting with icy power, the tunnel viewpoint, and further up, the grand finale, Upper Johnston Canyon Falls, crashing into a deep turquoise pool with stunning force. It's not just a hike, it's a highlight reel. And then, Lake Louise. Nothing prepares you for Lake Louise, the color, the symmetry, the glacier above it glowing in the afternoon sun. It's like stepping into a dream, or a painting that refuses to believe it's real. One thing we'd always dreamed of was paddling a canoe across those shimmering turquoise waters, just drifting beneath glaciers and mountain peaks, like we were in some postcard brought to life. But nothing prepared us for the moment of green we'd have to spend for that epic moment. Canoe rentals at Lake Louise are, let's just say they're no joke. In the end, watching others glide across the lake, tiny silhouettes under that massive mountain backdrop, was surprisingly just as satisfying. Sometimes the best views are from the shore, coffee in hand, soaking it all in without a hit to the wallet. Even after all the places we've been, Lake Louise left us speechless. The legendary Icefields Parkway, a stretch often called one of the most scenic roads on Earth, connects Lake Louise and Jasper through Banff and Jasper National Parks. It is famous for its stunning views of mountains, glaciers, waterfalls, and wildlife. It's one of the most magnificent places in North America. So much to see and do, it's worthy of a return trip. As we got closer to Jasper, last year's forest fire was still visible, blackened trunks reaching toward the sky like a silent reminder. But below them, new life was pushing through, fresh green growth and wildlife everywhere. We arrived in Jasper and settled into Whistler's Campground, a place that would quickly become one of our favorites. The next morning was critical. It was laundry day, but even that became an unexpected highlight. Coin Clean Laundry, which also houses the Snowdome Coffee Bar, was the coolest laundromat we've ever seen. Craft espresso, homemade baked goods, banana bread, Warden cookies, berry sour cream muffins, cozy lounge seating with a perfect view of your spin cycle. Wish every town had one of these. Fueled by caffeine and clean clothes, we set off exploring a day filled with lakes: Pyramid Lake, Patricia Lake, Malign Lake Parkway, Medicine Lake, Lake Edith, and Lake Annette. Every turn offered something new, water so still it looked like glass and wildlife everywhere. Just steps off the trail near Pyramid Lake, this incredible bull elk emerged from the forest, velvet antlers on full display, peacefully grazing in the morning mist. In a chill bump moment above Medicine Lake, a bald eagle family stood strong through rain and resilience. The eaglets braved the storm from the safety of the nest, while a watchful parent kept guard yards away, an incredible glimpse into wild devotion and survival. The next day, just a mile from our campsite, we saw our first grizzly. Majestic, focused, utterly unbothered by the traffic jam forming as passers-by scrambled for photos. We watched as he foraged his way through a field of bright yellow dandelions, feasting like he'd stumbled into an all-you-can-eat buffet. He put on quite a show, massive, powerful, effortless. But what really stayed with us was the feeling of simply being in the presence of such a magnificent creature. There's a quiet awe that settles over you, part respect, part wonder, when you realize you're sharing space with one of nature's true giants. Next came one of Jasper's signature experiences, the Whistler's Mountain Tram. Along with his grandson Arlo, Fred and I boarded the cabin and began our ascent, gliding smoothly above the subalpine forest. Below us, the landscape transformed from dense, dark green to rocky slopes sprinkled with wildflowers. The tram itself is a piece of history. Opening in 1964, it's the longest and highest guided aerial tramway in Canada, climbing nearly 3,000 feet in just 7 minutes. Engineers designed it to withstand extreme alpine conditions, and it remains one of the most impressive attractions in the Rockies. At the upper station, we stepped into another world, thin air, sweeping vistas, and mountaintop winds carrying the sense of stone and sky. A short walk leads to the summit of Whistler's Peak, named after the whistling call of the resident marmots who live among the rocks. From the top, 6 mountain ranges stretch toward the horizon. It's a view that makes you stop, breathe, and absorb the enormity of the wilderness. Inside the Mountaintop Cafe, we grabbed coffee and chatted with a young man who looked like a younger Justin Trudeau, friendly, full of energy, and a reminder of how travel brings strangers into our story in the best possible ways. Day 19. We packed up and headed south to Bow River Campground near Canmore. We stopped at Grassy Lake, hiked up to a hidden waterfall, and soaked in every moment of that rugged alpine landscape. On day 22, we rolled out of Bow River Campground, crossed back into the U.S. at Kingsgate, and set our sights on new adventures awaiting in Idaho and beyond. It was bittersweet saying goodbye. Canada had given us waterfalls, wildlife, glaciers, unforgettable hikes, and moments with family that we'll be talking about for years. What a ride. What a chapter. Canada, you are everything we hoped for and so much more. But as every overlander knows, the adventure doesn't always end at the border. Our rigs had been dropping hints. The Hummer had sprung an intermittent fluid leak earlier in the trip. The kind that disappears just long enough to make you uneasy. And the Forerunner's brakes, though recently appeased, were still whispering their concerns. For now, everything seemed stable, no drips, no grinding, just smooth pavement and hopeful optimism. But the question hovered in the back of our minds. Would these maintenance gremlins stay quiet? Or would they rear up and throw a wrench, literally, into the next leg of the journey? Only one way to find out. We turned west, tightening straps, checking gauges, listening closely, and rolling on. Thanks for joining us on this leg of our 42-day adventure. In the next episode, we head west toward towering redwoods, iconic Yosemite, mysterious Death Valley, and beyond. Stay tuned, the wonder continues. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell to receive notifications for new episodes. No roads, no worries. See you on the trails.